Welcome to the special Halloween edition of Fantasy Basketball this week. Today we are going to be talking waiver wire pickups, back-to-back scheduling, buy low, sell high, injury report, all of those things that you need to win your matchup. As you can see, I'm dressed up for Halloween. I'm feeling quite festive. You might be asking, what am I? Well, I'm a guy that's on vacation because that's what I am for the next week. I really wanted to soak it in. And if you don't like it, you. With all that said, let's get right into the action. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that little red subscribe button down below. It would really mean a lot. We post weekly. You're always going to be up to date with key information that you're going to need. Hit the like button at the end of the video if you enjoyed, and comment down below who is carrying your team, who is holding you back, who is underperforming, and who do you want to cut and never draft again. Like I said, let's roll the intro. Alright guys, thank you for joining us today. Like I said, we're going to be talking about waiver wire pickups, back-to-back scheduling, injury reports, buy low, sell high, all of that good stuff that you're going to need to know how to win your fantasy basketball matchup, something like that. Alright, so to start off, we're going to start with the back-to-back scheduling and who you should pick up on those back-to-backs in order to maximize your matchup acquisitions. On Monday and Tuesday, there is no back-to-back, so don't even worry about it. Tuesday and Wednesday, we have 3 back-to-backs, Dallas, New Orleans, and Sacramento. Let me give you a hint here, Sacramento, don't even bother. They're bad, okay? At least their streaming options are. I'll leave it at that. New Orleans Pelicans, they have Brandon Ingram missing games currently. If that continues, it's going to open the door for Josh Hart and Herbert Jones to play some big minutes. Josh Hart is definitely the safer of the two options and can pop off for a big game. Dallas, on the other hand, has Kristaps Porzingis out for the 3rd game in a row. Who's surprised? It's not me. There's opportunity for guys to get more minutes now. Reggie Bullock is going to pull the start in place of Kristaps Porzingis, but he doesn't really do a whole lot whenever he does get those starting minutes. So I'm skipping on him, and I'm looking for Jalen Brunson, if you need a guard, and Dorian Finney-Smith and Maxi Kleber would be my go-to options now that they have extra opportunity. Dorian Finney-Smith had a -8 fantasy point performance the game prior to recording this video, so he's going to need to bounce back, and I totally believe that he will. So I'm looking for mainly Dorian Finney-Smith and Maxi Kleber as my Tuesday, Wednesday back-to-backs pickups. Wednesday, Thursday, we have another 3 back-to-backs, Atlanta, Boston, Philadelphia. Atlanta has a budding scorer in Cam Reddish, who is playing his best year in his young career. He would be good for about 20 points per game. And so if you need an extra 40 fantasy points in this Wednesday, Thursday back-to-back, look for Cam Reddish. Boston's you don't really want to fish in Boston's watering hole. Robert Williams and Marcus Smart have missed the last game against the Wizards, but I don't foresee that to continue. If you wanted to dive into the Celtics bench and you're in a really deep league, I would suggest looking at Grant Williams, who sometimes gets the start regardless of injuries and has been lights out from 3. So if you need 3-point percentage, Grant Williams could be a good guy. Josh Richardson, who saw his first big minutes of the season against the Wizards, put on a pretty good show, 27 points, and was able to carry the offense off the bench. But like I said, only in deeper leagues would I consider these 2. Now for the guys that you're actually going to want to pick up on the Wednesday, Thursday back-to-back, and they're both on Philadelphia. The 2 guys you want to consider are Maxey and Milton. I know both of them are sharing minutes at the point guard position until Ben Simmons returns, but they both show great promise in being able to put up 25 fantasy points and more a night. So an easy 50 points added to your matchup this week if you pick these guys up for the Wednesday, Thursday back-to-back. Thursday, Friday has Detroit, and Detroit has Kelly Olynyk, who you're going to want to pick up regardless of the back-to-back. Pick him up at the beginning pick him up as you're watching this video. Don't leave the video, but pick him up. He has been so good this year, and not many people can average 32.4 fantasy points per game and only be rostered in 39% of the leagues. So if your league hasn't caught on to the Kelly Olynyk hype, you're definitely going to want to pick him up. Yes, he's sharing minutes with Isaiah Stewart, and he doesn't often start. However, every time he plays more minutes per game than Isaiah Stewart, and he's outperformed Isaiah Stewart on a nightly basis. If Kelly Olynyk is already owned in your league and you're starting to get desperate and need another streamer for a back-to-back, look for Josh Jackson, who is upping his minutes per game as the season moves along. He's a great defensive player, and sometimes his impact does not show up on the stat sheet, but it does seem like he plays one bad game and then bounces back from it right away. So if the game prior to his Thursday-Friday game is booty, then go ahead and pick him up because you know he's going to be good on the Thursday-Friday. Friday-Saturday, we have Portland as our only back-to-back, and as long as Damian Lillard continues to struggle from the three-point range, Anthony Simmons is going to continue to be a major part in the Portland Trail Blazers offense. Him and Nasir Little are worth consideration if your game is getting a little too close for comfort at the end of your week. Saturday, Sunday, moving into the last back-to-back of the week, we have Houston and Utah, and just to get it out of the way, you're not going to want to pick up anybody from Utah. Their streaming options are not that great. However, Houston has a super high ceiling when it comes to streaming players. They're currently lacking in fantasy production and real life production. They're just not very good, but they have incredible upside when it comes to players popping off. Şengün has been incredibly productive on the floor and could be a good pickup at the center position. And in his last game, he saw a huge jump in minutes and did not disappoint. So if he continues to up his minutes with Daniel Tice struggling, then Şengün could be a long-term option. At the moment, he's not that, but he could be worth a stash if you have that ability to do so. Kevin Porter Jr. and Jae'Sean Tate were always great candidates for streaming last year. In fact, they became full-time players in most leagues, even in shallow leagues. They're just underperforming this year. Kevin Porter Jr. has a huge turnover problem, but they actually have a massive ability to just turn up for one game. Sorry if it's really dark in here now. They have a great ability to turn up for one game if they need to, and could help you win your matchup this week. Moving on to a buy low, sell high for the Houston Rockets. If whoever is owning Jalen Green in your league does not respect his game because he's not currently putting up 30 fantasy points per game, go ahead and buy him low because he is going to be almost impossible to defend as the year goes on. He's so explosive on the court. So definitely try and pick up Jalen Green now while you can before his value gets too high. Now you might be thinking, well, I don't always want to stream back-to-back guys. I want non-back-to-back guys just to pick up for one night, just to use my spot. Well, look no further than LaMarcus Aldridge, as he is set to see extended minutes for the Brooklyn Nets now that Nicholas Claxton and Paul Millsap are out. He could be a helpful pickup towards the end of the week as he plays 3 games after Wednesday. So we got Wednesday, he plays against Atlanta. Friday, he plays against Detroit, and Sunday, he plays against Toronto, which are all favorable matchups for him, and he could put up some big points in those games and could help you win at the end of your matchup. There's a couple people that I need to apologize to, and one of them is Al Horford. I said earlier in the season that I would pick up James Wiseman before I picked up Al Horford in the draft, and man, has he made me look like a stupid freaking idiot. He has played unbelievably. I think he's a top 10 player in fantasy basketball right now. It was just the way that the Thunder managed him that I thought he wasn't going to be used properly anymore, or maybe he had lost a step, but he's definitely proven me wrong. And if anything, he looks like he's picked up a step, and he's been so helpful to the struggling Celtics. As a Celtics fan, I can't believe I've watched 2 straight games of the Washington Wizards beating us. Oh, it's heart-wrenching. I can't believe the Celtics suck with the amount of talent they have. And I hate the Wizards, but I love you guys. So thank you for watching. I hope all of this is going to help you win your matchup next week. And like I said before, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're doing this weekly. I love to talk basketball, so hit me up in the comments and just ask me anything. Find me on that social and let's link up on Instagram. Who knows? Just interact with us. It helps the algorithm a ton. It helps get our information out there to other people. Trying to make this a little bit of a side hustle, so don't bother me down, help me out. All right, guys, with all that said, love you, peace.